What is up, guys, and welcome back to episode 7 of our So Rare Road to Glory. Today we are going to do a slightly different style of video and focus on the collection bonus, which has been recently brought in by So Rare. And this has been quite a big topic in the So Rare community recently. A lot of talk about what is going to be the best strategy for next season, whether it's to stack, use these collection bonuses or not. And today we're going to go through a example and look at all of the pros and cons. And before we get into the video, guys, if you can make sure that you subscribe to the channel. We're currently sat on 46 subscribers, which is great. Hopefully we can hit that 50 mark soon, and let's get into the video. Okay, so there's been a lot of talk recently about what's going to be the best strategy for next season, and we're going to have a look at the SC20 stack, how it's done this season, and talk about the collection bonus and what that means for next season as well. Now we're going to assume that we do have the collection bonus here. I'm just going to whack 8% on, just because I think that's the highest you can do on So Rare data. And then we're going to whack captain as Churney here, and just apply that as well. If you look at the current cost as well, the floor of this team is currently £136 and the average is 138. And yeah, we're just going to go through the graph and look at what it's won, what it's actually yielded back, and then also look at, what are these sort of possibilities for next season and what you could do to actually do something like this and hopefully win some cards. So we'll start back. This is a yearly graph here. Obviously, players go in and out of form. For instance, Churney at the start of this season wasn't as good. But yeah, we hit a tier 3 there, miss out slightly here. There will be some game weeks as well where you'll be able to tell that someone's missing. Someone's injured, got a red card, for instance. You can then swap that player out. So there may be some times where we're close to a prize on this graph, but obviously in the actual real life situation you would have used a different card. Another tier 3 there, a tier 2 here, and Unstalled didn't play, so you would have had a different keeper in. So yeah, that might have bumped you up to that tier 1 range. It looks like they probably kept a clean sheet this week as well. So if you add on, yeah, like another 60 points or so, yeah, that would have been a tier 1 there. Bad week that game week. Churney didn't play this week and we're not far off. So yeah, if you were to use a different forward there, that might have popped you up into the tier 3 range. Churney didn't play there, but we are quite far from a card, so that probably isn't one. A tier 2 there, nothing there. Proper didn't play in this one. Maybe get a card if you have a big game for one of the other players, but probably not. A tier 2 here, another tier 2, a star, which we've probably been podium here, maybe even win. A tier 3 here, another tier 3. This one, no, a star there. This one you had 2 players missing. You're probably like, what, 170 points off a card there. So probably not. Here, just a bad game. Here, it's a Ruka's missing, but we're probably, yeah, like 100 off, so probably not here. Another star, nothing here. We did have proper not playing, so that would have probably been a tier 3 or tier 2. A tier 1 there, nothing here, nothing here. A tier 3, nothing. Proper didn't play him. Probably, like 60, 70 points off a card here. So that might have been another tier 3. Nothing there, nothing there. A tier 1, and then nothing in that game week there. Now, obviously, to get this bonus and to have the whole 20 stack is going to cost a lot more than the 136. But yeah, you can see how much a team like this has actually yielded when obviously 20 win and they win well. This stat's going to absolutely smash, and you can see that obviously they had the chance here of probably, I'm not sure what game week is that, 339. We'll actually have a look and see where that would have finished in All-Star Limited. But yeah, obviously buying all of those 20 cards will be more than the like 136, whatever it is. What game it was that again? 339. But yeah, I do think one of the hardest things when you actually look at this is to find next year's 20. You know, you could pick the like Bayerns of the world, for instance, but they're always going to be a little bit higher in price. The biggest thing is going to be finding a team like 20, who maybe aren't one of like the biggest names, who have a really good season, and then yeah, obviously you get the benefit of those players being cheaper and their prices increasing. And then also, if they have a really great season, then you are going to obviously win lots of prizes as well. So what did this team score here? 490, and we would have had obviously more points because of the bonus. So we may have even podiumed here. Did this guy have a stack? No. So this would have definitely been a second place. We may have won this, sorry. 13 points. We may have got that with the added bonus if we had every single player. And yeah, if we have a look at the full 20 team, obviously we're going to actually. I mean, the starting team is 210 euros currently. Um, and then you obviously need all of the other players. So it's probably going to be somewhere around the 400 to like £500 mark to buy all of them. But if you look at what it's won, there's a few stars there. You're definitely going to win at least half of what you spent on everything back, and then maybe a little bit more as well. And yeah, it's definitely a option which I'm obviously looking at a little bit further in terms of the RTG. This could be something which we use to actually slowly build up the gallery and then work our way towards that first super rare, etc. And obviously I will have my Southampton team anyway, and we are making quite good progress on that. If you have a look at my gallery here, collections, Southampton. So yeah, we're sat on 20 out of 28. We'll get 10 points more on each player as well after 90 days. It's going to be like 55 to like 70 days before I get all of that, which will then put us over. So we'll hit that 5% bonus, which is good. And then we just need to actually pick up Caballero, Bazzuno, Livramento, Bellacoccia, Ward-Prowse, Alcaraz, Lavia, and Orsic. And I did mention it in one of the other videos, but Nep is doing something very, very smart, I think, in that he's getting in early, and he's already got his Young Book stack, Portland, obviously Arsenal, Ferrara, Red Diamonds as well. As you can tell, I don't really know much about Asian football. And yeah, I believe he is also working on Feyenoord as well. I watched his stream yesterday. And yeah, he was, I believe, in the process, yeah, of building a rare team. And obviously, this is the step up from the limiteds. And this is obviously much more of a price tag as well. Limiteds will be much cheaper. Making a full rare stack is going to cost you a lot more, especially when you add in all of the small extras in here. But it'll be really interesting to see how much he actually yields back from this. And yeah, after one season, sort of looking back and seeing how much he spent in the first place, and then after the season, how much he's yielded back in terms of ETH and also cards as well. I personally think the only way this actually goes wrong is two things. Number one is if you pick a certain team, for instance, Saints, we went down last year, we're now in the championship. If we have a bad season and we finish, like 13th, 14th in the championship, this isn't probably going to go too well for me. Obviously, in my circumstance, I don't really care, as this is my team anyway. I'm not doing it as a sort of yielding exercise. But yeah, if you picked a team and they had a bad season, obviously that's going to impact the amount of ETH and also cards which you win. And the second way I see this going wrong is if Sorare makes some sort of change to the stacking. So, for instance, if they bring out a new rule where you can only play, 3 players from one team in a lineup, that's obviously going to kill the stacks a little bit. You can still obviously do a like 3 and 2 from 2 different teams, but it does limit the sort of upside. Or if they bring out some sort of competition where you can enter stacks into it, and that's the only place where you can play stacks. I think that's probably the only 2 ways which this actually goes bad. And yeah, I think overall it is going to be a solid strategy moving forwards. I think especially in the limited area, you can find teams which are quite cheap. When I say cheap, it's still going to be a few £100s. But yeah, I think it's definitely a viable option moving forwards. And then in terms of your gallery, let me know in the comments if you are going to be building any collections, which team that's going to be, and then your reasoning for picking those teams. And as I mentioned on my previous videos, we're going to be doing more uploads like this. We're trying to stick to 1 upload every day, so you can see we've been doing that the last few days, just because I want to actually start to grow this page, start to actually get more people interested in Sorare, and yeah, I want to obviously move to doing this on a more sort of full-time basis. So yeah, make sure if you have any questions, pop them in the comment section, and we'll see you tomorrow for our next video.